Well, hello to my Facebook friends. Hey, it's Carita Dee from the Carita Dee TV Show. Glad to have you on board, of course. We are getting ready to go live. So this is just my couple of minutes, just intimate minutes with you just before we start, all right? Remember, it's Facebook, so we can just talk straight to straight. Hey, listen, for all my Facebook friends, I just want to say hi to you. So come on board so that I can see that you are here with me. We're going to be talking. I'm going to be talking with a girlfriend tonight. She's going to be sharing her intimate story about her marriage and how it totally fell apart, and the infidelity, etc., the online dating, all of the things that happen in marriages when they break down. I'm going to be sharing little bits of my story as well. And so as we come together as girlfriends, we pray that you will be blessed by this. I know a lot of people don't like the idea of me sharing this, but I believe it's extremely necessary. When I came into Barbados back from the U.S., the mandate on my life was to use my life as a guide to bless people. So if I can share about my past, relationships, and I can share about everything else, the Lord God has a mandate on my life to share this as well, because it is going to help so many people. So you guys be patient as we share it. A lot of women are going through this and need it. So this is my outlet, because this is where God puts me in front of a camera, in front of a microphone. And so it allows me then to minister to people who are going through it at this moment. And so if you don't like it, it's all right. I'm good with that, because we're going to be really ministering to people tonight. All right. Call your girlfriends, because we're going to get together and really get to the next level. I'm Carita Dee. Hey, listen, we're getting ready to go live. Okay. Just a moment.
The Lord has come to give you life more abundantly. He's come to heal your wounded soul and set your spirit free. Mother, sister, best friend or wife, the message is still the same. A girlfriend, get alive. Oh, girlfriend, get alive.
Well, welcome to the Carita Dee TV show. I'm Carita Dee. So glad to have you here. It is another great day that God has made. We're going to have some joy up in the house. Hey, listen, I just want to say big ups to all my girls out there. All of you who have locked in and locked on with me. Thank you. Mwah. All of you who continue to support me, continue to send your remarks, continue to send your love, all your encouragement. I love you so, so very much. Hey, we're going to be doing something really, really interesting tonight. Many of you have seen it on Facebook. We've been advertising it. Want to make sure that all of you are locked in. Get your girlfriends. Incredible night that we're going to have tonight. Get your guy friends. They're going to learn some things as well. This is an extremely transparent show tonight. We've got a very, very special girlfriend that is here with me tonight. She's going to be sharing her story. I'm going to be sharing little bits and pieces of mine. We're going to do a girlfriend moment, high five, whatever we got to do, just to be able to share and bring things to life. One of the things that I've seen so very often in the Caribbean and even living in the U.S. is that women don't share enough. What we do is chatter and we gossip and we judge, but we don't share for encouragement so that we can get past these situations. So all of us that are going through all these things are basically isolated, because we don't have anyone to say, oh my God, he did that, or they did that, or this is what's happening. So if we don't have that, then we always feel like we're going through it alone. And that's what happened with the Me Too movement in the United States. When all of those women were actually being, going through that with these celebrities, they all thought they were going through it alone. Little did they know, 20 years later, they would have this 50 group or 100 or 200 people who had actually gone through the same thing. If one person had been courageous enough to say, guess what? This is what's happening to me. Wow. Then all of them would have come up at that point and saved. Listen to me very carefully. They would have saved the trauma that all of the others had gone through after them. But because it's a society that we have developed where bad things are kept secret, you understand? It's amazing how we are. You know what I'm saying? We will keep these bad things a secret in our society in the Caribbean. We lock it down. We sweep it under the rug. We suffer in silence. And then we get all these cancers and all these diseases because now we don't have anybody to go to talk to about it. Isn't that a shame? So that's why we're here tonight. We're not here just to blab our story. We're not just here to put it on blast. What we want to be able to do is to share our story so that all of you who are hurting, all of you who are going through it right now, all of you who have gone through it and still blaming yourself, then all of a sudden you say, wait a minute, that's an aha moment. We had a really great interview with a wonderful woman, a psychologist. I'm getting ready to put that up on Facebook in a little while. We had a little technical difficulty in really getting it up on Facebook, but she talked about the hijackal. And she talked about certain characteristics when you have hijackals in your life. And one of the things she said is that the hijackal keeps a supply. Okay, they always keep a supply. They always, because they may not be getting through and doing it with you, or you got stronger, or whatever the case may be, they go back to their supply. Because that is the consistent method they have used forever. They didn't just start with you. It started a long time ago. And so how important it is for us as women to get knowledge. The Bible says, in all you're getting, get understanding. Let wisdom be your sister, right? Understanding your close relative. It means that if we go around without the knowledge, if we go around without learning some things, then I'm telling you, it destroys our lives. And then you get people that come into your life and say, oh, you got a generational curse. No, you don't have a generational curse. You just got generational bad habits with no wisdom. So you pass on lack of knowledge to your children, and they pass on lack of knowledge to their children. And so that's what it is. It's no curse. It's just you don't have no knowledge. And so we want tonight, me and my girlfriend, she's coming in just a moment, and I'm giving all of you enough time to come on board. And when she comes in, she's going to be sharing and really highlighting some things that happened all along the way. We're going to talk girlfriend to girlfriend. I'm giving as much of you a chance to just come on board and share, so that as we share, you share with each other, you talk, you set up your cell groups, you go to your counselors, you go to your pastors, you go to whomever you need to. And if you're not getting answers, keep seeking until this thing makes sense. One of the things about women is that it's not making sense to us. And when it doesn't make sense, we get frustrated because we do things like, it's almost like a checklist. I've done this, I did this, and it's not making sense. So that's why I brought in the girlfriend tonight, so that she and I can sit back. We're going to have a good time. I want to say a big, big shout out to all my girls who are right there on Facebook. Loving y'all so very much. We're going to have a really good time tonight as you guys come on board. Patrick Sneer is always on board with us. And, of course, Marcia Aline and Stacy, you guys are always on board as well. Love to have you on board. Thank you so very much. My girlfriend, Trudy, is also on board. And so we're glad to have Trudy on board as well. Thank you, Trudy, for being right there with us. Adrian is also on board. So keep it coming. Keep it coming. Want to know that you're there. And that way we can talk about this infidelity very, very candidly. Very, very candidly. All right. So if you're there with me, just give me a big shout out. And on top of just shouting out, Sharon Sandiford, she's there. Thank you, Sharon. Glad to have you on board. Wherever you are, you might want to put the island that you are. Want to say that we are live here on CaribVision, and we are live on Facebook as well. So many people are always calling me and asking me, well, when are you going to do a show like this? Well, here it is. It is a candid show. Hazel is also on board with me. Hi, Hazel. Glad to have you on board. Jonathan Ruck is on board as well. Glad to have the guys, because the guys need to hear it as well. Who else is out there? I want to make sure that I'm saying hi to everybody. Make sure, if this is going to be one thing that you watch, you're gonna see that it's gonna be worth your while. Maureen Simmons is there. Glad to know that you're there. Make sure you're calling your friends and telling them, watch this. This is gonna be intimate. It's gonna be live. It's gonna be great. Jalea is there. Lynette Mears is there. I can't keep up with all of you. Just keep coming on. Just keep coming on. Just keep coming on. Tell me that you're there so that I can acknowledge you, okay? Just want to make sure that all of you are there, because when we go to the break and come back, I'm going at it, and so is my guest. She's going to be very transparent. I'm going to be transparent. It's all right. It's my life. We're not trying to dog anybody out. You're going to hear some things that are very, but that's because we love you so much, and we want to share it so that you can get free from all the stuff that you've been carrying. Some people have been carrying for many, 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 many years. It's just amazing how we carry these things. So Tyler Bell, sit down. Lynette, sit down. All of you, sit down, because we're going to come back, and we're going to be talking about infidelity, an actual real life story right here on Carita Dee.
Sister, best friend or wife, the message is still the same. A girlfriend get alive, oh, girlfriend get alive.
So choka is basically roasted vegetables. I'm not sure how they came up with the fish choka, but I know choka is usually vegetables that are roasted on an open flame and then mixed with seasonings and aromatics, and it's chunky with hot oil. So in this case, the fish is mixed with some onion, garlic, some fresh herbs, pepper, and then it's chunky with hot oil.
Now wait till me gone. Now wait till your family dead and gone. We make you unite as one. Me want you call up your family, call up your friends, and tell them see you love them.
Strength and the most high. It's the work of the most high. When I lie, some say this devil read it and it tell you why. The victory's why.
Is away no fear go. Me too cute away to Kia go. I am so blessed. I am so stress free.
This hurricane tip comes to you compliments the Caribbean Disaster Emergency Management Agency and the Caribbean Media Corporation. Be prepared. Check into your home and auto insurance. Confirm that the policies are valid and the coverage is appropriate.
Rita, so you're also a vegan.
Okay, I'm vegetarian. I would be vegan if I didn't eat cheese. That's my only, if I didn't eat cheese, I would be completely vegan. That's the only animal byproduct that I do consume. So if I can just cut the cheese, I know it sounds weird, but if I could just leave it out my diet, cut the cheese, I would be vegan. And honestly, if I think about it too much, I can't have, like if I eat cheese pizza and I'm like, okay, this can't, I start going through the chain of the process.
Sister, best friend or wife, the message is still the same. A girlfriend get alive, oh, girlfriend get alive.
Well, you're back with me, Carita Dee. So glad to have you back in the house. And of course, it's been a great time with you guys so far. And I know that I've been giving you enough time to bring your girlfriends, bring your guy friends on, because this is going to be a very, very intimate moment. One of those moments that you wish that you could be in on yourself, that you could get your 2 cents in. But it's just us. So you get your 2 cents in right there on Facebook. Make sure you go onto my Facebook page, Carita Dee TV, and like the page, and make sure that you tag CaribVision as well, so that we can all be a good community, really, really helping to inspire each other. I've got my girlfriend right here. Here she is. Hey, I've got my girlfriend Shardine here, and so glad to have you, girl.
Well, I thank you.
Man.
I'm glad to be here.
Yeah,
I'm
good.
Really glad to be here.
I'm really glad. You know, one of the things that that really encourages me is that the fact that you're prepared to be so transparent with me.
Yeah.
A lot of people are not prepared to be transparent, and I want to make sure that all of the girlfriends and the guy friends, I want to put this disclaimer out there, that all of the girlfriends and the guy friends understand that we're not doing this just to jab at people or to, to dog out people, as they say. What we're trying to do is to establish some guidelines for women and to help them to understand that they're not crazy.
No. You see, too many people are hurting out there.
Yes.
We go to work, we do this and that, and you can see on their faces, you can see the way how they respond to life, is that they're still hurting and they're still blaming themselves.
Right.
And they feel like they're nothing.
Right.
And they're just existing.
Exactly.
And this is not what God says we're supposed to. How could we live our lives if we don't accept?
Thank you.
And deal with it.
Exactly. Now, you are a minister.
Yes, I am.
Yeah, you're a worship leader.
Oh, yes.
Right. Okay. How long you been doing that?
Well, I've been a minister for about 5 years.
5 years.
5 years. I've been in church. I grew up in church. Both my parents are ministers, pastors as well. And so it's been my life. God, He's been my love. He's been my everything.
Right.
Everything.
You're a mother?
Yes, I'm a mother of 2 wonderful children. One is 10.
Right.
11, sorry.
Okay.
And the other one, she's 13.
13.
Going on 14.
Good.
Yes.
So let's go back now. Let's take everybody back, because I know everybody want to get the juice. Okay.
Oh boy.
So let's go back. You were married. You'd been married back for how long?
8 years.
8 years.
8
okay.
years when everything, you know, really came out in the open. It has
And
been
when
8
you met
years.
your husband, what kind of person was he?
You know, the friendly, jovial, you know, will always come and look up for you
Yeah.
and see how you're going. And, you know, it was, you know, really encouraging
Yeah.
at that point in time.
Was he a Christian?
Yes,
Yeah.
definitely. Very much involved in the church.
Yeah.
Really loved worship music.
Wow.
Really loved God. And we were both ordained
Ah.
on the same day in the month of August.
Wow.
And yeah, so we were both.
That sounds so much like me and my husband because we were both ordained around the same time.
Serious.
Isn't that amazing?
Wow.
Yeah, by the same person. Yeah.
Same.
Yep.
Same.
Sure enough.
Oh my goodness.
Sure enough.
So we were really involved in church ministry because that was the dream, that was the goal, that is what we set out to do, to really bring honor and glory to God through our marriage.
Right.
And to touch lives.
Yeah.
And, you know, many prophetic releases had been on our lives as well. And, you know, you're just going on to do just that.
Absolutely.
And, you know, whatever I did in church environment, I will discuss it, you know, make sure he's on page,
That's what
on
we
board.
do. We women who understand ministry and all that. That's
Ministry is
what we're doing.
home.
We're
Ministry
inviting
home.
you in.
Yes.
And we're telling you, share with us. And
Yes.
come and do this with us. And we
Right.
don't want to leave you out. We understand
Yeah.
you have egos
Yeah.
and whatnot. So we want to
We
encourage
work
you.
together.
We want to work
and
together.
it's biblical.
Yes, it
'Cause
is.
Don't forget, they're really our first ministry.
That's exactly right.
So it doesn't feel right
Unless they're with us. Exactly. I totally get it. Listen, I'm going to give you a high five on that one.
On that one. It's true.
So now, here it is. You're doing all of this.
Yeah.
You're involved in ministry. You're working together. Everything. And to everyone else in the world, it seems like
Good.
the ideal marriage.
It's good.
Right? And
It's
that's
good.
I can identify with that. So it seems like the ideal marriage. But somehow, somewhere along the line, somewhere at some point, something happened. What was your first indication that something wasn't right?
I think it was pretty much early. By, you know, attitude and things that were being said. And, you know, I never fully understand it because it was like just statements that were dropped.
I totally get it.
Just dropped.
I know.
But you're moving on in life, but deep on the inside, questions.
Yes. Why did they say that?
Why was this
why
said?
did they drop that comment?
Yeah.
Why am I being attacked?
Right.
What's this all about?
You know, and
Yeah.
and with my personality, I'll come across and ask, you know, in a nice way,
Of course.
wait for the right time,
Yeah.
and you ask a question. Oh, nothing, no, it's okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
Did you find that happened around a specific time? In other words, for the girls that are watching and the girls that are listening right now, is it that this sudden negativity because obviously you had what you consider to be good to start with,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden this negativity comes in. Did you identify that maybe it was because you might have been doing more ministry work, more something was happening?
Oh, yes. At that time, I was the. I'm laughing because I find the storyline is too insane. You know what I'm saying? But I was the youth leader in our church.
Yeah.
And I was in charge of the 13 churches,
Right.
the youth department.
Right.
And so at every point that there was
I love your
elevation.
accent.
Trinidadian,
That's
but
right.
Bajan down to the bone.
Bajan down to the bone.
Yeah.
But Trinidad.
Yes.
Yeah.
So every time there was an elevation, there was an attack.
Ah. So every time you went up, something came to bring you down.
Exactly.
It's not because we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities.
Yes.
Right? So therefore, if we're wrestling against principalities, it means that this is not a target against the person.
Right.
We understand the dynamic of what's
Yes.
going on behind that scene.
Spiritual.
Yes.
It's a spiritual thing.
Yes.
If I had to lead in worship, if I had to minister, this thing, it would just happen.
It would just happen.
Out of the blues.
The blues. I totally get it. Been there, done that. Yeah. So now here it is that you're experiencing these attacks, and as women, we kind of buffet them. You know, it's like, okay, we deal with that, we keep on moving.
Yeah.
We deal with this, and we keep on moving.
Yeah.
We deal with that, and we, you know,
Yeah.
and that's what we do.
Right.
But yet, it seems like, are they intensifying at this point? Is it becoming more and more frequent?
It's becoming more frequent. And, you know, by about year 6 or 7, it just intensified.
It's intensified. Okay, so we're going to come back and we're going to talk about how this intensified right after this break.
Sister, best friend, no, the message is still the same. A girlfriend, get alive. Oh, girlfriend, get alive.
For close to a half century, the Sam McQuaid Charity Softball Tournament has been staged in Bismarck, Mandan, North Dakota. This team is made up of a group of United States soldiers who paid the ultimate price on the battlefield.
This hurricane tip comes to you compliments the Caribbean Disaster Emergency Management Agency and the Caribbean Media Corporation. Be prepared. Keep phone lines free for important calls.
And that's a flour, baking, now the ghee, on your hands like that. So make the balls roll nicely and smooth.
Sister, best friend, no, the message is still the same. A girlfriend, get alive. Oh, girlfriend, get alive.
Well, you're back with me, Carita Dee. I got my girlfriend right here with me, and we've been having a really cool discussion. Want to say big shout out to Juno and Pink and Negus and Kelly and all of you who are on board with me on Facebook. Make sure that you're on Facebook Live. You put your name there so that I can acknowledge you and thank you. And hey, drop me a line or two every so often, all right? Hey, so we were talking just a little while ago about the fact that right there at that point, it was intensifying. Yeah, it was becoming more and more.
Yeah, obvious, because you felt the distance.
Right.
And that's the big telltale.
Well, that's something that women feel all the time. When men pull away,
you feel
and we
the
feel
difference.
This, yes.
Even if they came into the room or they talk, or you just knew something was different.
You know, do you notice that when we women, when we are trying to, we're trying to make peace, you know, and we sense that distance, we talk more.
Yeah, you're trying to find out what's going on.
Yeah, exactly.
You okay?
Hey, you okay? Well, what was work today? And da-da-da, how come you're getting home so late? And blah, 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 right? We talk more. So it may be that we need to talk less, but we talk more because we try to dig it out of you. You're not talking.
Yeah.
We know, listen.
How are you feeling?
My God, we know something is going on. Right? We are yoked to you. We know something is going on. You're not telling us.
Yeah.
And so it is making us want to dig and find out.
Yeah. And not only that, well, from my point of view, it's like you're trying to reconnect, keep this
Of course, keep it going.
Keep this nice.
Yes.
You know, to keep it nice.
Oh, my gosh.
Especially that, for me, I have 2 children, and you want to make sure you have that environment where they're comfortable and they're happy.
Yes.
And, you know, and as you said, leaving early, coming back late, and it's like, you know, getting up and disappearing and on the computer all the time.
We're going to talk about that computer. That's a good one. Because the leaving late, we know that that's very, very historically in the Caribbean.
Yeah.
I know that I had seen that as a child, and I saw many men do that here in the Caribbean. What they do is they leave.
Yeah.
And some of them may come back early, and then they go out again, and don't come back till 11, 12 o'clock at night.
Right.
And they have this thing where you cannot ask me where I'm going. So I carried that from as a child till my adulthood, and I will tell you that, you know, when I got deliverance from that, one time I was in a church, and my pastor said, when a man leaves a woman's house, his wife's house, and he doesn't tell her where he's going, it is abuse. Emotional abuse. He said, because women, you know that woman is going to want to know. You know it's going to hurt her. You know, but you do it anyway.
Oh boy.
That is emotional abuse.
Or you call, you know, and the phone ring off. And
That's right.
You know it's your wife that
You know it's your wife.
you. Hey, and when you do get on, what happened, madam? Oh, I didn't get around to it.
Yeah.
It's like, okay.
Exactly. So here it is. You've gone through all of that because we don't. I wish we had enough time to do this for 3 days.
Whoa! I tell you.
But you went through all of that, and then you got a revelation, because you're thinking. What were you thinking to yourself as far as, is this me? What am I doing? Did you go through that cycle as well?
Yes, I felt like, you know, it's something I did wrong. You know. I went back. Am I spending enough time with him? You cooking enough, or, you know?
Did you feel at any point that you had some sort of imbalance in your life? For me, I know that's what I experienced. Did I have an imbalance? Was I doing too much in ministry? I needed to pull back ministry and take care. Maybe in your case, take care of the kids more and focus on the husband. Was that something that happened to you?
Not to that extent, because let me put it this way. I knew I was growing deeper into ministry.
Right.
And so what I did, my way of trying to balance that was inviting him in it. Okay,
yes.
They wanted a youth president.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that?
Right.
Would you?
Yeah.
Well, okay, if this is what you want to do, that's fine.
And
you have my support.
Gotcha.
So I tried to keep him on board with it. Okay, if we, from a financial point of view, okay, we need to have more income. All right, I have this opportunity to do so and so. How is that?
How's that working?
All right.
Yeah, I find that we women, for the most part, we tell them stuff.
Yeah.
They could never ever say, at least on my part, that I wasn't saying, because if you talk like as much as we do, you're gonna know what we're doing.
You keep them involved.
We keep them informed.
And I had a good role model.
Absolutely.
I saw mommy and dad. They discuss.
That's it.
They discuss everything.
Right.
They prayed
and
about
for the most
everything.
part, we women are going to share. We're going to say, well, this is happening Saturday.
Yeah.
This is what we're doing next week.
Right.
This is what's happening next month.
Right. You know, so I try to, you know, keep that connection going on there, so that there's always that input. But what I discovered that even after that input, you'll find there were some attitudes that will come out.
And you didn't understand what the attitudes were.
I was confused.
Interesting word, confused.
I was confused, and you know, and with all of the scenario, even, I might jump ahead just a little bit.
Yeah, sure.
I think one of the hurtful part is being told, well, it's because you're in church, you're too much into ministry, or you forget to put in, you know.
Well, I've heard both sides of the story. I've heard some say, some men, heard some women say that their men will say it's because you're in church, or they will say, you're not saved, you pretended.
You're serious.
Either way, you get the blame, you know. Either way, the church gets the blame.
And this is the good one. How could you be in charge of this and that? Someone came to me, how could you be in charge of all of this and you can't keep it together at home?
Right.
And it's like,
and have no idea that you are working to keep it together.
Over time.
What are some of the things that you did to try to keep it together?
I went on the internet and tried to find out what...
You Googled?
Of course. Google is in the middle name. That was my middle name. And
that's mine too.
How
Google
to be the best wife.
How to do this.
How to meet their
keep
needs.
Your man.
How to
10 ways to keep your man. 5 ways to get him back. 6 ways to get him delivered.
Oh my
4
God.
ways to
Don't
get
forget, you go and you find out about the laundry.
That's right.
To set up nice romantic things.
Yes.
And for me, I try, you know, to cook extra.
Yes.
And do this.
Right. And none of it was enough.
None.
Were you praying during this time? Constantly.
Well, that's all I could have done.
Yeah.
Because I knew it was falling apart. It was crashing, because we even went for counseling.
Okay, so you brought in the big dogs.
Of course.
You brought in the generals. You brought in the pastors. You brought in the counselors. You did everything because he didn't.
I'm telling you, I put in 150%.
Wow.
So I went to this prophetic minister, who was also, I said, police or constable.
Yes.
And I was glad because, you know, he has that spiritual side and his training.
And a natural, he's a man.
There you go. And, you know, I encouraged, and we went for this counseling. And after he heard both sides, I remember he looked at him, he said, listen to me, young man.
He looked at your husband?
Yes, he looked at me, he said, listen to me. God gave you this woman to help you. All you have to do is put aside your ego.
Wow.
Just put it aside.
We're going to come back and see how, if and how he put aside his ego and what happened after that. Coming right back.
Sister, best friend or wife, the message is still the same. A girlfriend get a life, oh, girlfriend get a life.
Guyana's first carnival experience has been dubbed a success. The festival, which kicked off on May 18th, climaxed on Sunday with the parades of the bands. Thousands of Guyanese from all corners of the country, as well as a large amount of tourists, on Saturday braved the weather and took to the streets of Georgetown to get a glimpse of the beautiful and earthily decked out men and women in their brightly colored costumes to celebrate the country's 52nd independence anniversary.
This hurricane tip comes to you compliments the Caribbean Disaster Emergency Management Agency and the Caribbean Media Corporation. Be prepared. Avoid sightseeing.
It's not been easy keeping that publicly owned community station alive. And it's part of a network that's seen its share of troubles. Can you talk about that? Why do you think it's been so hard?
I mean, it is so important, Pacifica's roots, going back to World War II and the first Pacifica station, KPFA in Berkeley, founded by a war resister who came out of the detention camps named Lou Hill, who said there's got to be a media outlet.
Sister, best friend or wife, the message is still the same. A girlfriend get a life, oh, girlfriend get a life.
Well, you're back with me, Carita Dee. So glad that you're back. Want to say a big, big shout out to Pink. Yeah, Pink is always on board with me. Negus Damali, always glad to have you on board as well. And Juno Ford, yeah, glad to have you as well. And all of you, keep your comments coming. Keep your comments. Want to make sure that I know you're there because we're going to be talking about this right here on Facebook right after the show. So we're going to keep this going. I want to hear some comments. So we were talking just before the break.
Yeah.
My girl and I, we were talking about you did everything.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, you did everything. I call it, you did the flip, the dip, and the whip. You did everything. You went and got you did it in the natural, and you did it in the spiritual as well. You went into prayer. You saw your pastor.
Yeah.
You saw that man who was the police, as well as he was also a spiritual mentor, who gave counsel. You did deliverance, I'm sure, all that. You prayed, you fasted, right? You did it in the natural. You cooked. You did everything. You sent the children. Did you send the children out? Maybe y'all had romantic times together.
Course.
Did you plan trips and things like that?
Well, we didn't get to the trip part.
You didn't get that part, yeah, because sometimes financially you can't get that part, right?
But we tried to, just travel around and to do some stuff.
Yeah.
Just talk, but you felt that distance.
They're still getting the distance, and you can't figure out what is this distance. And so when did you suddenly say, aha? Because that's the moment. It's kind of like, as a woman, we know when everything is cool for the most part.
Yeah.
For the most part. Some people can hide it very, very well, and it may take us a minute. But if you stay in prayer, I really believe prayer changes things.
Definitely.
If you stay in prayer, I remember one night I was praying, and I actually saw an image. It was a midnight hour prayer. A friend of mine who was a pastor told me, encouraged me to join them in an 8-night prayer. And I was praying in the midnight hour like Paul and Silas.
Right.
And I would pray for about 2.5 hours at a time. And all of a sudden I started to see a demonic image. Did you see that too?
Yes.
Wow.
In the house.
Right.
Right there where I was praying and worshiping God, because that was my final. Everything was just cast into praising God, just worshiping God.
Right.
And I just felt this presence.
Wow.
And moving in the area, and it came out from where he normally would be. And it came out, and the children were sleeping, but everything inside of me just rose up. Wow. And I started to pray, and I opened the doors, and I rebuked, and I just pray, and I felt the presence left the room. And I didn't stop there, because you ain't going to stay outside and play around by my door. Listen to me. I moved from one end of the property right down to the end. While doing that and rebuke, I see huge eyes. Just piercing, look at me, and I plead the blood of Jesus, and I cast out until I felt like
it was gone.
A release.
Wow.
And I'm saying, yes, breakthrough.
So you're thinking it's gone now.
Yeah.
This is the time when you're going to see a change in your marriage.
Yes.
But
by that time, he said, I'm leaving.
Whoa. Well, because you think, okay, this is, because, you know, this is what we learn from church, your circles. Oh, well, we plead the blood of Jesus, and everything's this, we cast it out, and everything's good.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, the man part comes in and says, I'm leaving you.
I'm leaving. Because, you know, the thing about it, I didn't fully recognize. Because sometimes, you know, you could only get deliverance when you want to work in harmony with God.
That's it. That's
you understand?
it.
But you see, when your agenda comes to fall, to destroy, to
Right.
pull down,
Yes.
and to go about and to spread gossip.
Yes.
You're messing with what God wants to do.
That's right. Absolutely.
You're messing
no
with
doubt
it.
about it.
So it's like, it's either you get fixed up so that my daughter can be happy,
right?
Or if you don't get yourself together,
right?
Everything has
And
to
it can
go.
work. It can work in the reverse. Let's just say it's somebody out there who is a man and he's getting this situation with his woman, who his woman is unfaithful, right? And she is going about. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
The woman is interfering with the man's purpose in life,
His calling,
and she's on dangerous ground.
Very
because
much so.
She should not be doing that. So now you have discovered that that he's decided to leave. Okay, and you're thinking, well, I've done this. You go back to your checklist.
Yeah.
I've done this. I called in the generals. I did the deliverance.
The checklist wasn't me. I didn't even have to go through the checklist. I just know I had
done it
everything.
I've done it all.
I have done everything.
So you agree. Well, you don't agree. He says he's leaving, and he leaves.
Well, I tried one more time.
You did?
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
I tried one more, because, again, I had 2 children there at that point. And I said, well, you sure you don't want to just spend time and talk about what it is bothering you at this particular point?
Yeah.
And it's like, no, he laughed.
Right.
And he said, no, I had planned this a year ago.
He planned it a year ago.
And when I heard that,
you knew. You knew. Did you, at any point during that time before he left, did you see something? Did you come across him doing anything?
Oh,
did
yeah.
you catch him doing anything? Because, I mean, come on now. All that praying got to show something.
God shows you.
Yes.
He shows you. He counsels you all through. I remember I was in the kitchen. I think I was in the kitchen doing something, and I just felt a prompting, go to the bedroom.
So from the kitchen to the bedroom?
Yeah. So I went suddenly there. And when I got in there, I saw his laptop open.
Laptop?
And
those laptops can be some dangerous things.
And he was talking to this woman.
Oh.
And it hit me. But
so he was in the he was that, because, you know, sometimes they hide, stay on their job, whatever the case may be, and do it. Yours stayed in the house and talked on his laptop
and
with
was
the woman.
talking. And so then, because of his face, I pick up body language quite easily. And once you know someone for a while, you know. So I said, what's up? What's going on? Oh, no, nothing, so I was just surfing.
Yeah.
That's the word, surfing.
Yeah, surfing, yeah.
So I said, all right, no problem. And then another time, too, I was sleeping. And this was really the telling time. I was sleeping, and then I got up, and again, conversation.
Right.
But what was the real tell, he used the computer and he forgot.
He forgot?
The chat.
He forgot the chat?
Open.
Oh, sicky now.
That's when your inside turn outside.
So you saw everything. And I'm sure it was not, hi, how you doing?
Really, no.
Really? So obviously it was, I'm just, without being offensive, was it pornographic? Was it sexual?
It was the talking, it was the connection, it was the planning, what they wanted to do, that sort of thing. Yeah. That sort of thing, you know?
I totally can identify.
And it really, you felt like your whole world
shutters.
Just
because
fell
all
apart.
of what you were doing was to get to this moment. You needed to know
Yeah.
what was going on. Why was I under attack? Why were you saying these terrible things about you?
me.
Why are you distancing yourself from me? Why are you not sleeping with me? Why are you not talking to the children like you need to? Why don't you feel a part of the
That too.
Why don't you feel a part of the family? Why are you distant? Why am I coming into you and you're not coming into me?
But I'm glad you're saying, and I'm glad our stories are so in sync.
Exactly. So we're going to come back and really get to some more of the juicy stuff to see why this happens this way right here on the Carita Dee TV show.
Sister, the message is still the same. A girlfriend, get alive. Oh, girlfriend, get alive.
This hurricane tip comes to you compliments the Caribbean Disaster Emergency Management Agency and the Caribbean Media Corporation. Be prepared. Develop an emergency communications plan. Make sure all family members know what to do, especially children.
Resurf just takes on a whole community of its own, and what's so great is that it's a surf community that you're building in other countries and other areas, and you're bringing these group of people together, and they don't need to speak the same language, but they can surf and they can ride that surfboard.
This hurricane tip comes to you compliments the Caribbean Disaster Emergency Management Agency and the Caribbean Media Corporation. Be prepared. Keep a working flashlight and batteries available during the hurricane season.
The message is still the same. A girlfriend, get alive. Oh, girlfriend, get alive.
Well, you're back with me, Carita Dee. So glad to have you in the house. And if you've been following with us, you are privy to something that is so special here that's going on, that many of us don't get a chance to see the real heart of a woman as she goes through infidelity. And so I brought in my girlfriend to share, because we kind of have common stories in certain things that we've gone through. In your case, just before the break, we were talking about the children.
Yeah.
And I mentioned the children, and you said, oh yeah, that was something too. He distanced himself from the children.
Yeah.
How did he do that?
You know, it's just the way they interacted, the way he responded to them. And,
preoccupied, maybe?
Yeah, yes. And you know, I think that was one of the most hurtful parts. You know, when they're trying to get interaction, you know, he will be preoccupied doing something else. And, you know.
Well, he wants to go back to his supply.
Computer.
Yeah, the computer has the supply.
Everything.
So he wants to go out. We just learned a word in a previous show, and I know all of you know the word. It's called hijackal. We're going to be bringing that show up on live on Facebook shortly. Okay. I gave them a little thing, but the word is hijackal. That's what they're called. They actually have an actual supply that they constantly go back to, and that's the part they have to be delivered from.
Right.
It's not anything else. It's something that they've been doing for a long time.
And just go
long
back.
before they met you.
Exactly.
And they go back to it time and time and time again.
Yes.
They never resolve within themselves to be totally committed to you, because they have a supply on the side.
Wow.
Whether it's something in the form of online, whether it's pocket relationships that they can go back to make them feel good, that's why they're called hijackals. They go back to, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, but for me, I just looked at it that as when their walk with Christ, with God, begin to slacken off.
Yeah, well, but that's what's causing it.
It opened the door for the old ways to come back into
the old ways never left.
And it's
they just become more frequent, that you are more exposed because you see it. They never ever leave. You know, when you are in that kind of situation, that doesn't leave. Okay. It doesn't leave. No. It's always there. It can be suppressed for a season.
Right.
But it's always there.
Right.
And that was what was going through.
Like a battle.
Absolutely.
A battle.
It's just right there until they get totally free from that. It sits there because they want it there. They can go back to it.
But as you say, they want it there because the option and part of the counseling was to deal with it.
Right.
And when it came for that particular thing to be dealt with, No. No more of that.
No more of that.
No more.
I went through the same thing. It was I was doing the Love There, and it was shut down. I want to do that. I came up with something else. I want to do that. I brought in the generals to do Deliverance.
Yeah.
Throw up a couple of times, and then boom, I want them. Don't want them coming back. You know, all of that is this behind the scenes that people do not see what you're going through.
Correct.
That you are executing everything that possible that you've learned along the way, and nothing is working.
Nothing. And I'm glad you're saying that, and I'm glad what we're saying in certain points are in sync. Reason being the big blame thing. We blame ourselves for too many things, and that keeps us trapped. We lose, and because we are preoccupied with it is my fault, you feel you fail, you forget about your dreams,
your vision,
your hope.
That's right.
The things that God said you can do. You don't even feel like living.
That's right.
The children they're just there. All of that.
That's it.
You're just merely existing.
That's
and it's
right.
like, this is not the life
feel
that
tired,
God said.
listless. So it's almost like it compounds the situation, because even if he comes back and he wants to do anything with you, you're too tired. You get into a tired mode. Emotionally drained, emotionally spent. You can't lift your head to do anything. Now you need somebody to help carry you.
Oh my God.
But because you've been carrying them emotionally
for so long, you
you
don't realize how much emotional things you have been carrying until they go.
My God.
It's like, I couldn't believe it.
Yeah. And you tried everything. You've gone. I had old women praying, young women praying, this body praying, the church praying, that praying. No, it's
but
serious.
You did. But in my case, I was too ashamed.
Oh.
I kept it all on the inside. I didn't even, my parents knew nothing of it.
When they found out, they must have been crushed.
Oh my dad cried. My
family was very, very
they were so, they were so hurt. They couldn't. And the reason why I knew it would have been like that, you know. And the reason why I didn't say anything, because I was so believing in God for this turnaround.
Yes.
And I'm saying, when things turn around and you know about somebody, that turnaround in your mind, it will not accept the change.
Yes, totally.
But it didn't happen. So I didn't, went out with all of it was just myself, and then when I invited the minister to come into it, and then at one point, my bishop got into it as well, and then that's how everything just became full-blown, and everybody, at least he knew and understood the church, what was really going on. And I have to thank God for my bishop then. And, when everything came out, he said, whatever you decide to do, you have my backing.
Right.
But by then, I was so, as you say, drained.
Drained, because he's already online. He's consistently doing this online behavior. He has developed a persona online. And now what is happening is he's fighting against the perception of what he should be versus the true carnal nature that has now come raging out by consistently engaging in this online behavior.
Yeah.
So now he gets to the point where you said he is leaving.
Yeah.
And he decides to leave.
Yep.
What happened? What were you feeling then?
You're taking me back.
Yeah.
But it's like my world was out.
Yeah.
Because I believe in marriage.
Yes.
God.
And we say that.
Divine.
I said it when I got married. I said divorce is not an option. I
It's
put
not
it
an
out in the
option.
atmosphere.
It's not a word.
Right.
It's not in my vocabulary.
Yeah, I still wear my ring. Divorce is not an option.
So
because I believe God.
So I believe God until the very end. And, yes, he left. And all he could have done was pray, but, I hadn't heard or we didn't hear from him for about 3 months. And I was still in this prayer because, a lot of people say, God can turn around things.
Of course, we get all the glib. Yeah, God is going to do it. He's going to bring him back. He's going to be great. Everything's going to be wonderful. And you're holding on to this like a lifeline.
But, by that time, I was so drained.
Yeah,
I was
you can't fight anymore.
Pull
the soldier off the battlefield.
That's
it. Pull the soldier off the battlefield. When you got a war going on, you cannot have a sick soldier out there fighting the battle. By the time the soldier is tired, they go in and pull him off the battlefield and send him home.
But some people expect the soldier to keep fighting.
No way.
So you have
not
to,
a good,
you know,
not a good general.
But so by then I had to resign from a lot of stuff.
Yes,
and because I had 2 children to say about their emotional life
and your emotion.
Yeah.
Well, I tell you, we're going to come back and you're going to hear exactly what happened right at the very end, right here on the Carita Dee TV show. Glad to have my girl.
Sister, best friend or wife. The message is still the same. A girlfriend get alive. Oh, girlfriend get alive.
In Northern California, neighbors report a dog is trapped in a nearby concrete wash. The animal appears calm, but is unable to find a way out.
Somehow she got into the canal. They get into the canals. The canals are lined with algae.
And now will they be able to coordinate their efforts?
This hurricane tip comes to you compliments the Caribbean Disaster Emergency Management Agency and the Caribbean Media Corporation. Be prepared. A hurricane watch means there is a possibility of a hurricane within 36 hours.
Transfer that to your salad bowl, and now we toast the nuts. Pour half a cup of sliced almonds into a dry skillet over medium-high heat and toss until they're golden and fragrant. It only takes a few minutes. Then transfer them to your salad bowl along with 3/4 cup of dried cranberries. Pour it over your salad and toss together until every bite is coated in that luscious, creamy dressing.
Sister, best friend or wife. The message is still the same. A girlfriend get alive. Oh, girlfriend get alive.
Well, welcome back. I'm Carita Dee, and I just want to say a big shout out to Theodore. You're on there. Pink, you're on there again. Royal, Jamaica, all of you who are right there on Facebook Live. Glad to have you on board. Great discussion we have with my girlfriend here on an infidelity. Very candidly sharing our stories so that you can understand from the heart of a woman what a woman is going through. Listen, when you get women like us, where we've tried everything, we believe that we've tried everything. Because at one point I said, you know what, I've done this. I did my inventory, and I was like, and he stepped in and he said, I'm going to try, but didn't happen. In your case, when you got to the point where you said, okay, he's moving out, now you've got to financially, because that's a biggie, financially take care of business yourself. What were you feeling then? Were you feeling like, oh my God, I hate this man, or were you thinking, okay, he's gone, I gotta do what I gotta do?
Thank you.
Yeah.
I mean, at that stage, you can either seek to get bitter, seek to get revenge, or seek on moving forward.
Right.
And I thank God he started to feed me with the word and the scripture.
Yes.
And the very first scripture he fed me with was Job chapter 1.
Job chapter 1.
When he said Job was a man that was blameless.
Yes.
In other words, he served the Lord with his all.
That's right.
And it's there he showed me that bad things can happen to
good people. That's what the Lord kept telling me all the time. Bad things happen to good people.
He kept telling me bad things happen to good people. And I started to affirm I'm fearfully and wonderfully made.
Can you look in that camera and let's just tell those girlfriends who right now are going through something like that. We're going to look right in this camera right here. And we're going to say bad things happen to good people.
Yeah, I'll say one more time. Bad things happen to good people. You understand? And we could stop blaming ourselves. And start, and at that point in time, just let go of everything.
That's it.
And start feeding yourself.
That's right.
Feeding your souls.
Right.
Feeding your spirit.
That's right.
You understand? Even if you have to get help. I went for help.
Hey,
that's the first time I went for counseling.
So did I.
And I had to, because you know what? I have to make sure I get myself better.
That's right.
For my
and
2
not
children.
Bitter.
Yes.
Better and not bitter.
You cannot allow life to beat you twice on one issue.
Oh my God, say that again.
You cannot allow life to beat you twice on one issue. You mean you did what you did, then you go on, and because of what you do, You understand what I'm
Yes.
saying? So I started to make sure, okay, I'm going to forgive him. I'm going to release. I'm going to, time I went for counseling and, after evaluation, they said, you know what? The only thing you really have to focus on, make sure you forgive.
So you did forgive.
I had to.
And you went through it. And then along the way, he's away.
Yeah.
And something happened in his life. He something happened. Something major happened.
Well, so many major things happened.
You got a call from somebody saying that you got to come down?
Oh,
yes.
man. I remember from church, she called and she said, I could sense on the phone, like she wants to tell me something, but it's like, what? She said, listen, how about we meet? Let's go by the beach. So we went by the beach and she started to talk. She said, listen, I saw your husband. And it's not once, not twice, and this is why I think you need to know.
People always come and tell us.
Yeah?
Yes, they do.
I saw him, and he was with this person, and it's obvious in it, and,
People will bring photos. They got phones, and they bring the photos,
evidence,
and they do,
evidence. And,
sometimes people glad to bring, to kind of do a na-na-na-na-na moment, because that's what people do with me, and like, if you think you all that, let me show you your husband. And then something tragic happened.
Well, that was, later on.
Yeah.
And much later.
Yeah. What happened? I mean, what?
I got a text. I got a text from him. And I think, let me just back up one thing.
Okay.
Maybe this might help someone.
Okay.
The first thing, I got a call from him at one point. We had a little discussion going on.
Right.
And he said to me, sometimes you don't realize what you have good in your life until you move away.
Remorse.
Until you move away.
Yeah.
But sometimes you can't do anything about it because of the mess that you're in.
We are going to come back and we're going to see what happened at the very, very end. Something truly astonishing when we come back right after this.
Sister, best friend or wife, the message is still the same. A girlfriend, get alive. Oh, girlfriend, get alive.
Be prepared. Get cash in case ATMs stop working after the hurricane.
Sister, best friend or wife, the message is still the same. A girlfriend, get alive. Oh, girlfriend, get alive.
Well, you're back with me, Carita Dee. So glad to have you back in the house. Hey, listen, it is great to be here with my girlfriend. We're sharing very, very intimately on infidelity. She has just agreed to come on board and just share with me. And getting to the real nitty crunch of the matter, you got a text from someone one day.
Yeah, I got a text from him actually.
From him?
Yeah. And he was in the hospital, on the hospital bed.
Yeah.
And he told me he was there.
Yeah.
And he asked me for prayers. And that's why I'm telling you, it's very critical that we learn to forgive.
Forgive, yes,
Yeah?
yes.
And so I sent a prayer for him.
Yeah.
On the first day, and by the second day, I sent a prayer for both him and his friend.
Yes.
Because I knew what it is like to be up and down in the hospital with the condition that he had. And apparently it reoccurred. And by that time, I felt, the leading of the Spirit to urgently let my children go to the hospital.
Right.
And I carried them there on the Saturday, which we would have normally seen them.
Yeah.
And by Tuesday, Monday or Tuesday, his sister and a friend came by at work. And they told me, well, he went, you know, to the hospital for just a checkup. That's after he was released.
Right.
He went for a checkup and he didn't make it out.
He was dead.
I didn't make it. He
was
didn't make
dead.
it.
Wow.
That was
He
it.
didn't make it. That was it. I just want to wrap up by saying it's so important for all of us out there who are hearing the story tonight to reflect on our lives. Can I just talk to one of you very, very candidly tonight? There is a natural world and there's a spiritual world, and we operate in both. How important it is at this time of our lives to remember that there is a God that we serve that sees everything. Here was our sister going through all that, praying, just believing, doing what she had to do. Never in a million years did she think that it would end up where her children didn't have a father for the rest of their lives. I can only say to you, as I say to everyone who is approaching me about my situation, approaching everyone who is listening, everyone who is evaluating, everyone who has an opinion, everyone who thinks or takes sides this way or the other way, God is still seeing. He is the God that is on the throne and continues to see and evaluate because he's looking at hearts. I'm so glad that my sister came by. I thank you for coming by and sharing your story with me, because at the end of it all, we hope that you guys will take this revelation, this word that we have given, this experience, and take it into your hearts so that you will be guided to make good decisions, that you will forgive, and you will see improvements in your life. All I can say is, hey, continue to do the best that you can do and take it by the heart.
Sister, best friend or wife, the message is still the same. A girlfriend get alive.